Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Hi there and welcome to the Live Full Work Fun podcast. I'm Gayla Scrivener, joined by my co-host, Fran Attilio. Hey there, Fran.
Hey, Gayla.
I'm excited because this season we are continuing to explore the theme, Don't Let the Start Stop You. It's a powerful reminder that while beginnings can be daunting, they're also a gateway to growth, success, and happiness. Throughout this season, we are discussing how to push through those initial difficulties and take that important first step towards your big goals, even when it feels overwhelming. And you know, Fran, we are mid-January, and really the expectations is that, hey, we should have our plan already and we're in motion, but sometimes that doesn't always come about. The holidays were upon us. Maybe we had some reflection time. I thought today we should talk about your framework because it's a holistic view of planning through implementation and getting that business plan going to get you into the right direction. I work a lot with implementation plans and the nuts and bolts of that, which is a subset of what you do. I wanted to originally talk about, chunking down a business plan because it seems so overwhelming, right?
Yeah. That's the number one thing I hear when I talk about business plans is I feel like people's body language completely tense up, or their eyes glaze over, or they roll their eyes, or they think, they feel it's some cumbersome, overwhelming, stressful project. And it's really not. It doesn't have to be. And that's what our framework and approach is about. It's about changing the way we do business. And one of the biggest ways is to make planning for your business and planning for your business growth realistic and achievable.
And that's a big thing. You and I were talking off camera, and then we just kind of shifted a little bit. A business plan has different components. It has a financial piece, it has a sales piece, a marketing piece, and operations piece. In your approach, you intertwine all of that and simplify it. Your framework is so sound.
When someone comes to me and their challenge that they're describing to me is, well, I want to make more money. I want to earn this. I want to sell this many products. And this is the very reason why business plans can feel overwhelming, because you go into it thinking, okay, I have this goal. I want to make $1 million, or I want to sell 1 million products, but you haven't thought about the journey to get there. The biggest shift in my framework is that it focuses on you, the business owner, first. So there's 4 stages, there's 4 phases, but there's 3 that work together to set the planning, which is strategy, planning, and connection. So strategy is where you are now and where you want to go. Planning is time, team, and technology. And time is always a fun one to work on people because they have all these goals, but they haven't thought about real life and what's in their calendar for this year. And is that achievable with all the pieces of their life going on? Again, team and technology are in there too. And then connection, that's not yet about marketing. Marketing will be one of the things that come in their plan for growth, which is the result of the SPC program. In connection, we look at what's one of the usually the biggest misses and the biggest gold mines for a business, but how are they monitoring, managing, capturing past, present, and future contact information? So all these pieces together, as we navigate these 3 phases with them, we come out with their plan for growth. Their plan for growth can include, they might be sound financially and with their financial goals. The beautiful thing about the plan for growth is it speaks to the needs. It's not a cookie cutter. If there's a financial exercise we need to do or financial processes we need to add in, we're going to put them in there. We focus mainly on the marketing plan and then what it's going to take to make that marketing plan a success. So that's where the financial components or sales components, or if it's a storefront, does the storefront need, is there operations and or physical structures that need to change? There's all these pieces that come in that plan for growth. And it all comes full circle with our now, next, and future, because we know that one plan is not going to be executed overnight. So we prioritize for them and make it realistic. We don't jump into the financial. In fact, one of the questions I get a lot, we don't even talk about competition in the SPC part of the program in the beginning. We don't talk about that till the end because we don't model after what somebody else is doing. You have to do what resonates with you. You are the expert of your business and your dream and your vision. Trying to be like someone else, you'll lose the whole power of your message. So SPC is a game changer in how businesses set their goals. And one other thing I want to mention, that it's the beginning of the year. It is an unfortunate thing in this world that we make New Year's resolutions to be this big, and there's this pressure at the beginning of the year to be all set and ready for the new year. Let's erase that. Let's just, how about pick the first of each year or first of each month? Do a check-in. How are we doing? Pick once a quarter. Whenever your plan is ready is the right time. That's when it's meant to happen. If it's not ready right now, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. Let's get it going.
We do have so much pressure that as an entrepreneur, we've got a lot of hats and we've got to think of a lot of things. But there are the overreaching growth plan, but there's many plans within that. Is that correct?
Yes. And one of the things that we do a little differently is the now, next, and future. For those who have been, if you've been in corporate environment, you might have seen strategic plans where they have these significant sections and 1.1, 0.16, 0.15, and then there's 20 steps in just that one. And it can become overwhelming when someone gets it. When the client gets it, they feel like they're not sure where to even start. Or they'll do it for a few weeks, a few months, and then stop. I've seen that happen too many times. I work with clients who started with that kind of strategic plan and then came to me and said, we haven't done anything with it in a year because it just became too overwhelming. We chunk it down. That's one of our favorite sayings, you and I. We chunk it down. So when the plan for growth is established, the now, next, and future is our way to chunk it down. Now, next, and future could be seen as 1, 3, 5 years, but I don't assign times because if you achieve the now in 6 months, great, then we'll move some of the next up. If it takes you 2 years to do the now, that's okay too. The next aren't going anywhere, nor is the future. Those tasks are still in the queue. Chunking it down into what are the low-hanging fruit, both low-hanging fruit and most important changes to implement to move towards the bigger goals. And then next are the expansions, the things for further growth, and future are the bigger projects, things that may not have fully defined yet, or they're going to take more time to get to. Doesn't mean you don't work on them. It's just your focus stays in the now. It's a game changer on strategy and planning. It makes it doable, realistic, breathable. I'm going to use a holistic word there. You implement changes gradually, and slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So as you are going through all these new changes and you hit that messy middle, you know you can do it because everything is created in a way that promotes success, not just of your business, but of yourself. You find success in doing it this way.
Well, let's break your framework down a little bit and let's talk about strategy. So this is the SPC model that you go through, and you have strategy, planning, connection. Let's talk about strategy. So is that where you really want to define who you are as a business owner? Don't let the competition or what other people are saying. What is your why? Is that the underlying thing with that piece of your framework?
Yes. So strategy, we say it's where you are and where you want to go. And it involves identity, who you are. What is your vision of your business? Who do you think you are? It's like, we're going to do an identity exercise. We look at your beliefs and your values. They're two different things. Values are non-negotiables that you carry with yourself through your business. Any person, place, or thing that asks you to break one of those values are not people you want to do business with, or not places or things that you should have in your business. Beliefs are where we identify the strengths and the obstacles that we're up against in this plan, because it's our beliefs that really are the true obstacles in growing our business. Why you do what you do. Simon Sinek changed the world with knowing your why. And that really helps identify, where are we going to invest? Where are we going to? What are the products, services, support offers? What truly reflects your why? There's a few other parts of this, and basically it comes to clarifying the vision and clarifying the goals. One other step in there, we talk about dreams and expectations. And all of the words I use, whether it be beliefs, values, dreams, expectations, I always tell my clients, use what resonates with you and change the ones that don't. If you want to call dreams goals, that's fine. If you want to call expectations outcomes, that's fine. Don't get hung up on a word. That's one of the beauties of a holistic approach. You're not forced to conform to a box. In expectations, it's to me one of the most powerful parts of the strategy phase, because often what your expectations are don't match up all the time perfectly to the dream or the goal you were attaching it to. So expectations help us get real clear on what it is you really want to achieve first, and what does that goal look like. So we clarify the vision in this stage. And as you mentioned, we don't talk about competition yet. I don't talk about, if my clients bring up competition, I take the notes, but it is not part of defining their strategy. One of the worst things we can do in this world, both personally and professionally, is try to be somebody else. If you try to be somebody else, you will never see the full potential and the greatness of your dream and your vision. And there's place for all of us. Just because yours is different from someone else's, that's okay. There's also going to be people who came before you and have already done this, and you're just going to do it a little different. There's people behind you coming up the rear who's going to do it too. That's okay. There's space for everyone. Believe in your why, believe in your dream. And that's what we get clear on. We will look at and evaluate competition, but that comes later.
And before we get to the other sections, we need to readdress this, because maybe our why, I'm going to backpedal a little bit. Sometimes when we talk about our why, we may feel a little selfish, I think. Do you ever find that it's like, well, I want more freedom. I want more financial stability. I want this, I want that, but I also want more impact. Well, that still seems selfish, but the impact is, how do you want to affect the people that you serve? And you want to think of that. How do you impact the people that work with you or for you? So can you address some of that in the strategy piece? Does it seem kind of selfish, or how do you overcome that?
So selfishness is something that we are taught, no matter what part of society or generation you're from, that it's wrong to want things for yourself. That is a wrong message. The words, I want to have more impact, are not selfish. Where it comes in, where it crosses from truly a genuine belief and value, or something that is of good intention, it has to do with intention. What is the intention behind that want? That's where the change is. You can want more. You can want to earn more. Also, many times people's why is not financial. The why is often bigger than that. There's something they want to do or achieve in this life, on this journey. And that money is just a facilitator of all our journeys. It's something you have to have in this world.
I'm glad that you said that. Our big why,
yes,
may be, and it may change in different phases of our life, but our big why may not be that quote unquote financial goal. I want to be a millionaire, but the why has to be funded somehow. And that is the means of, going through the process, is that you, in order to achieve your why, or achieve that ultimate reality, your future self, you do have to think the financial aspect and be systemized in it.
And vice versa. If your why is centered around money, you want to do some reflection, because when will it be enough? If it's only about money, every time you achieve more, when will it be enough? Whereas when you have a why founded in something other than money, you can look back and see and feel no judgment on those who are focused on financial goals. That's one way to live, and that it's just not my approach. I have no judgment. I see everyone as having their own path. But for those I work with, we look for the non-financial why. If you get clear on that, the financial part does flow, because if you're clear on your why, you're clear on what you want to achieve, you're clear on what you expect to get from those achievements, everything else becomes clearer, which means the products you create, the service, the messages, everything just flows differently because you have a clear picture now of where you're headed.
Fran, let's talk into planning. What's entailed in planning?
Planning is time, team, and technology. So time is a fun one because we get granular. We look at your calendar, we look at your calendar year, and here's where it gets fun and tricky. So people will say, I want to achieve or launch this product by April. And they haven't done the back work to see what it takes to launch that product, let alone what's happening in their life. They have a vacation coming up. Do they have a business trip coming up? Do they have other events in their business that take a lot of time? And is that realistic to get that product launch done at the same time? So time is an evaluation of calendars. We give tips and tools. One of my favorite catches when we do time mapping is when someone has in their personal tasks, but they don't have the time in the drive to get there and come back. And they have a personal task that's out of the office, backed up against a Zoom call, but they haven't given themselves time to get back from the task. So I see this one happen a lot. The other one is looking at the overall year, even vacations. Okay, I'm going to be on vacation in July. I know that it's going to take me 10 days to get ready for that and packing. So I need to be ready by this date with all the things I'm working on to really be fully present in my vacation, whether it be by myself, with my significant other, with my friends, with my family, whoever it may be, instead of being on my phone during the vacation and being frazzed the whole time because I had these other things that I wanted to achieve by that date. It really does give pace back to our lives. And we have some really fun tips and tricks to find hidden pockets of time in your day. Team, do you have the right team? Do you have too many team? Are you using your team in the right place? We love a practice called Strengths Finders. It's identifying what are the strengths of your team, and are you using their strengths to the best of their abilities? Are they a people person but hidden back in operations? Are they not a people person and they're at the front of your sales? In technology, what systems are you using? And hopefully you are using systems, because you and I are very big believers in systems and processes. And if not, what systems? That's a big one where we identify what systems need to be brought in.
So the technology and the team all matter in this planning phase. But here's the deal. Sometimes things change mid-year that just, happened to me. I've had some major changes. I thought I had what I wanted to do and my goals kind of set out. But you know what? I had some major things happen that made me pause and reevaluate my whole business model. And really, what do I want to do to grow the business that I love? Because we could be growing a business that our whole philosophy is live full, work fun. But what if you're building a business that's no longer fun? And some things happen that you lean into. It's like, I need to reevaluate my why. Things happen in your life or in your business. Things shift in your life that you need to go back to the strategy and really reevaluate your why.
Actually, that's why it's called Adapt and Flow, Gayla. Our whole philosophy is so this SPC program is based on our philosophy of Adapt and Flow. And Adapt and Flow is the very thing that has shaped my life, my career, and this business. Adapt and Flow. And this is a big differentiator in what we do. We do not set goals and stay so focused and hard set on it that we can't see anything else. When you set a plan and a goal, you have to be willingness warrior. You have to be willing to adapt and flow. There are going to come obstacles. If you can get over that obstacle, you will. If you can't, you're going to adapt. And at the same time, you're going to flow. And flow is a very challenging concept in this world. But flow means in this moment, what can I do? In this moment, is this still right for me? In this moment, is this the best course of action for me? Where you were just a minute ago, a day ago, a week ago, a month ago, 10 years ago is going to look very different. There's a terrible saying in this world that people don't change. Of course we change. We're part of nature. Our hair changes, our looks changes, our skin changes, but we change as beings as we stay open to learning and growing. On this journey with your business, when we come out, it's one of the reasons I recommend the SPC program be revisited. It's not a one-time thing. You revisit it either every year or every other year because things change. And how are we going to adapt? And then how are we going to flow around those changes? It's being open to, don't be overwhelmed or off-put by the idea that you write a plan and then, oh, wait, we're not going to stick to that plan. Yeah, we're going to stick to that plan, but it may not look exactly like we thought at the end of it. And that's okay. It may look better, different. We don't know what we don't know, right? So where we land could be a whole different thing. A personal thing happened to me this year where if someone would have told me the day before that that was going to be the answer to that problem, I would have laughed. I would have thought, no way. And yet the next day that knock came on my door and that problem went away. So we don't know what we don't know. You have to be open to that flow.
I love that, Fran. We have talked about a lot today so far, and I think that this would be good for us to break right now, and we shall come back into part 2 of this conversation, and let's talk a little bit more about the planning and particularly the connection piece and how this all works together and the importance of reviewing to make sure that you're on the right path, that your why is still front and center of what you're doing. So I'm going to wrap up. I thank everybody for listening today and learning more about strategy, planning, and connection. And just remember that this is not just the first of the year type of thing. Things happen to where it will make you have a pause and you need to reevaluate. Don't be in the trenches all the time. As a business owner, you need to lift out of the trenches and think of the future. And I know that you've got so many hats. It's overwhelming. But as you say, Fran, slow is
smooth and smooth is fast.
Right? So thank you for listening today. And remember, Fran and I like to say, we chunk things down. Right. And so chunk things down with us and join us next week for part 2 of this conversation. And until then, live full, work fun.